Today, we're going to take a look at Ethereum because the market is pressing on a trend line that could trigger a breakout here over the coming days. And we'll also take a look at the Ethereum Bitcoin chart to see which one is likely to strengthen more in the coming days and weeks. And lastly, we'll look at the DXY, the US dollar index, because it continues to be a key driver for the crypto markets. Now, if you guys are enjoying this content, be sure to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to get notifications because I am releasing these videos every day, Monday through Friday. Okay, so the Ethereum daily time frame. This market right now is pressing against a trend line that could trigger a breakout here, possibly today, maybe tomorrow. You can see here off of the late November to early December high, we have this trend line that has capped every advance from Ethereum. Now at the moment, this level comes in right around $3,000. Okay, so if we take a look at the 4-hour time frame, you can see right now that the market found resistance here on this candle, and so far, it's starting to break out just a little bit here today intraday. But as I always say, the daily time frame is really going to be key here. You could play this on a 4-hour time frame, but I personally would not, just because if you look at the significance of this trend line, it does go all the way back to late 2021. Okay, so this level has been in place for several months. So this is not something where I would play it on a 4-hour time frame. Personally, I would want to see a daily close above that $3,000 area to flip this level back to support and then see buyers step in this region to push the market higher. Now, if Ethereum can get above this level either today or tomorrow, we could then see a move up here toward $3,200. So this would be the next key area for Ethereum should it break out from this trend line. Now, here's what's going to be absolutely critical for Ethereum in March. If it can get above this trend line and we see that push higher up toward 3,200, it's going to be a matter of making a new higher high, because if you'll notice, ever since all the way back here in early November, okay, this was the last time that the market made a higher high. Ever since this time in late November, early December, this market, okay, Ethereum has been making lower highs. We have not seen a higher high from this market in several months. Even these highs back here did not manage to get above this one. Okay, so we've seen lower highs over the last few months. It's going to take that first higher high in order to really push this market higher up toward potentially $3,600 this month. So if you'll notice right now, we have a potential higher low back here. But as I've said recently, we don't know if this is going to be a higher low, okay, down here until we get that higher high. Because let's just say, for example, the market were to do this. Okay, I don't think it's going to, but a hypothetical, let's just assume it does. Then this down here obviously would not be a higher low because we never got that confirmed higher high. So we need to see that move above 3,200 to really confirm the higher high and push Ethereum up toward $3,600. So just to kind of recap, if we do get a daily close either today or tomorrow above $3,000, that should flip this area to support. Okay, so this trend line here, $3,000 is going to be the level to get above on a daily closing basis. Do that, this area should flip to support. And then the next key area is going to be 3,200. Get above this area on a daily closing basis, and 3,600 is going to be the next key level here in March. Now, one thing before we move on to the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, on the weekly time frame, this is something I've talked about before, where if Ethereum has any intention of making a significant leg higher in 2022, it is going to have to deal with the $4,000 area. Because if you'll notice back here, this area served as resistance on a weekly closing basis. The market then got through it on this candle, and $4,000 became support for a couple of months until Ethereum broke back below it. And now we've seen trading below this area on a weekly and monthly closing basis. So what that means is that we need to see Ethereum over the coming months get back above $4,000, at least on a weekly closing basis, flip this area back to support, and then push higher toward all-time highs. Now, obviously, there's a lot of room between current levels today, just below $3,000, and this area up here around $4,000. Okay, so there's a lot of room to play with here, even up toward 3,600. But I'm talking the next few months. Okay, if we are going to see that significant move higher from Ethereum later this year, $4,000 is going to be a key factor on the way up. Now, let's go ahead and jump into the Ethereum Bitcoin chart to see which one is likely to strengthen more over the coming days. All right, so Ethereum, Bitcoin, this is the daily time frame. You can see where we have this trend line off of these lows from back here in May of last year. So at the moment, the market is just above this area. It really hasn't tested it yet. However, there is also a trend line off of this low back here in October that is serving as support today. Okay, so if we move in here, you can see where this level is serving as support. And we also have a trend line off of this recent high that is serving as resistance. Okay, so it really comes down to this. If the market can get above this trend line up here, okay, break through this, and then also get above some of these recent highs and lows right through this area. Okay, so right around 0.073, that is going to be the level. This trend line here, and then also this horizontal up here, this is going to be the area to get above for us to really see Ethereum start to outpace Bitcoin again. Until that time, the ETHBTC chart is really just kind of in sideways mode right now, just consolidating below this area. So just keep that in mind. 0.073 is the level to get above to really flip this chart and start to move higher again. Okay, so right now, lots of consolidation here. If we were to see a close below this area down here, then we likely get a move down here toward this longer running trend line from May of last year, somewhere down here around 0.063. Now, lastly, I do want to touch on the DXY, the US dollar index. So this is something that we've been talking about now for a very long time and for good reason. This continues to be a key driver for risk assets, okay? So back here, this is the monthly time frame. You can see we have this trend line off of the 2011 low. This broke down back here in 2020, and so far, over the past few months, we have seen a bearish retest of that level. Now, this move right here from this high down here to this low, this was the entire bull market for Bitcoin. So you can see the significance here that we need to see the DXY start to rotate lower later this year. If Bitcoin has intentions on really moving higher, significantly higher later this year, taking out that all-time high up around $70,000. Okay, so we need to see this break down. That is what we're waiting for. We don't want to see it close above this trend line, obviously off of the 2011 low. Okay, so if we move into the daily time frame, you can see where we do have a rising wedge that's formed here where this level up here is the 2011 trend line, and then we have this trend line support off of the May low. Okay, so right now we are just waiting for the DXY, the US dollar index, to either decide, is it going to break higher, or do we get that rotation lower, punch below this trend line, and then also take out this area right around 95. So the DXY for me is really going to be the barometer as to whether or not this move we're seeing from cryptos right now ends up being a lower macro high in March, or if the market sets up for a significant leg higher in 2022. This is going to be the key driver, guys. We need to see this market break down. Right now, it's nowhere close. You can see that even today, once again, it is strengthening. Okay, so take the moves we're seeing right now from crypto with a grain of salt. I do think that we see at least Bitcoin move up toward that $50,000 area this month. But again, the DXY is going to be the key driver here. If we see this market this month move below 95, take out these lows down here and give us that first lower low since May of last year, then I do think we're likely to see cryptos move a lot higher later this year. If the DXY does not, and we see it continue to strengthen, making higher highs and higher lows, then that is going to weigh on risk assets, okay? So keep an eye on the DXY, guys. This is going to be the market to watch, apart from, of course, Bitcoin and the S&P 500, etc. All right, guys, so right now, as I said, Ethereum is pressing on this trend line, but we do need to see that daily close above the $3,000 area to really confirm the breakout. That would expose 3,200. Get above this area up here, and we have our first confirmed higher high for Ethereum since November of last year, which would take the market up toward $3,600. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, be sure to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon to get notifications, smash that like button, and leave your comment below. I will talk to you again tomorrow.